Hello, this is me about MacBook power supply. I recently got an old MacBook from 2006, and that MacBook wanted to be supplied with power. There was no power supply, so I had to get one from somewhere. Of course, you can buy the original one from Apple, which is very expensive. Cost you about whatever, 70 euros or something like that, and that's too much for me for an old MacBook that didn't cost more than 40-50 euros, and it actually works. It's a kind of a present. Actually, I was able to repair it, so that's the behind story. And this power supply thing was interesting to me as a technician. And what you see is you have 16 volts of supply voltage, officially from Apple. That's printed on the Apple supplies, and it's also the voltage that can be measured. I measured this voltage once, and it's a stable 16 volts on this magnetic connector. It's just one voltage, it's not two. I thought it was two first, because there were two values printed on, and there's 5 contacts, so I thought that could be 2 voltages, but it's not the case. It's just one single voltage and 2 wires. Very, very straight, very, very simple. I measured, using a very special power supply, I measured the range in which I think that the MacBook can be operated. It's a plastic MacBook from 2006. It could operate easily between 15 and 19 volts. So there was no change in power. So it took the same power whether it was 15 or 19. I didn't go higher than 19 because I was happy with 19. There's so many supplies on the market from other vendors whatsoever that work with 19 or 18 volts, that you can use those if you get the plug into operation. And that's the problem. You have to get such a plug. It's a special magnetic plug. You have to get that, because you cannot build that from anything. It's a very special industrial device. And there's a lot of possibilities to get such a plug. The first is, of course, you can buy an official Apple supply, which is very expensive. Then you're done. The next is you can buy a defective one. So I can do this. I did this. And usually the defective lies within the last stage, the output stage, where there was a shortcut or the cable is broken, something like that, and then it's easy to repair these devices and to get them to life again. But the cable often is broken, and the plugs don't look good somehow, and it's a used device, and often it's used up. I did that once. I succeeded with that, but it looks kind of ugly. I want to show you this. I repaired this, and this is the working plug. It's okay. The plug is okay. And then I had to cut the cable, and I did another plug. I put another plug on there so that I'm more in standard. And now it's possible to use different devices, different power supply devices. But that's not something for everybody. There's another possibility. I just tested that, and I'm surprised. I'm positively surprised. It's the Chinese rebuilt power supplies for Apple, not, of course, from Apple. That is the plug of this power supply. You cannot see many details here, but I can assure you that this is pretty good. it is a rebuild. It's quite cheap, costs $20, 20 euros. And the plug is beautiful. Let me assure you that this plug is hardly distinguishable to an official Apple device. It really looks the same. In the quality of the plastic, the color of the plastic, the magnetic metal, everything, the cable, it really, I would say it is from the same manufacturer. You can barely find the differences. And then it goes off to the device, and that device looks a bit different. It has a different color. It's a different white, and if you plug the official Apple cable in, then you see the difference in the white. Of course, here it's hardly visible, and there's of course no Apple logo on there, so it's of course not from Apple, and they can't really do Apple logos on there because then they got sued or something, I don't know. And there's a very funny thing on there, because apart from stating it's made in China, of course, it says it's designed by California. So I don't know California yet, but it should be a good designer. So it's, apart from that, it's really beautiful. It has the snapping thing here, working very fine. It's like the original product, and it doesn't have this plug. This is the European plug, and I had these plugs, but it was not delivered with this device. You could also plug in a standard cable. You don't really need this plug. But apart from the outside, I wanted to know more. I wanted to know the efficiency of this thing. I even wanted to look inside of it, and I wanted to see, is it a reasonable quality, or is it trash? And I can assure you that the quality is okay. It is not the very best quality you can imagine, but it's a reasonable quality. The parts are okay. The PCB is okay. It all looks, the soldering is of a high quality. I think it can run for years. And so is the efficiency. The efficiency is okay. It's quite okay. It's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's certainly not worse than the official Apple products. I do think that they have. I think that the efficiency can be better than what they supply, but it's not bad. It's normal, and so is this Chinese thing. So just to recommend you this unknown product. There's no vendor name on it, even not inside. You don't know where it comes from. It's no company. It's from China. It's 1 billion people. They worked on this, and great. And it's an anonymous product, so drop me an email if you want to know where I bought it. I can send you this, but I don't know if every product of that kind is the same. So maybe there's a dozen companies in China that produce that stuff. But mine, for 20 euros, is a very good replacement. It has an IC in the circuit. That the controller IC of this switching circuit is from a big vendor. It's a well-known vendor, and so I'm quite convinced that this product is doing fine. And that's for the recommendation of if you want to have something alternative to Apple. I think it's working. Thank you.